Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. For my first draft of this sermon, it was supposed to be at least 7 minutes long. I timed myself reading it, and it came out to be 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So I went through and read this and looked for anything that might be missing, and I realized that I never introduced myself. I just got right into the sermon, so I'm going to introduce myself now. My name is Kate McDonough. I've been an acolyte here once or twice. I had my last high school class on Friday. I will be attending the University of Georgia. Of the schools I applied to, I received over $1 million in total scholarship offers. And finally, Rachmaninoff is my favorite composer. So that is the quickest introduction that I can give you. Now, regarding the sermon, something I realized last Sunday was that you're all going to stare at me or into the void regardless of what I say or do, and I will never know what you're thinking. For example, last Sunday, the dean started talking about jazz, and all I could think about for the next 3 minutes was Ryan Gosling and La La Land, but none of you would have known that if I hadn't said it. So, anyways, I've been looking through the Bible lately, trying to find inspiration for my sermon. They don't tell you how hard it is to write one of these in the time frame that I gave myself. But anyways, there's this verse I've heard a bunch of times at weddings, and when people read it, it's almost always for their husband or wife. But as I read it to myself, I couldn't think of anyone other than my mother. I'm sure you know the verse already, but here it is anyways. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. As I read this verse, I thought about the love of a mother. That is what my sermon is going to be about. Love, and especially the love of a mother, because, it is Mother's Day. I was born near midnight in October 18 years ago. My mother said I was an easy child, but I do not believe her. There is nothing easy about a baby. My mother was there when I took my first steps. She probably cried. She probably still sees me as that little baby. My mother was there when I learned how to do civilized things, like use a toilet or keep food in my mouth. My mother loved me even when I woke her up in the middle of the night. My mother cleaned the floor when I got sick on it. My mother changed my diapers, dressed me, bathed me, fed me, raised me, taught me how to be someone who was somewhat tolerable. My mother covered me in blankets the first time she took me to Walmart because she didn't want her baby to get sick or be touched by the outside world. She always wanted to protect me. My mother did not teach me that everything could be beautiful. She convinced me. My mom was there when I broke my collarbone in pre-K, and she realized that she could not always protect her precious child from breaking. My mom took me to church when I was younger. My mom raised me in the church and taught me that God don't like ugly. My mom introduced me to God. She always prayed to him about me because I was her baby, her first baby, and as she would say, "Oh God, what did I do to deserve such a good kid?" My mom was there when I graduated preschool, and she cried on the phone when I won the spelling bee in 5th grade and called her from the principal's office. And when I went on to middle school, my mom was the first one to pray for me. When I came home in 7th grade and told my mom I had no friends, she prayed for me. She prayed all the time. When I told her I hated the people I was surrounded by, she prayed for me again. When I told her my best friend Sebastian was moving away and that there was no one in the whole school that I tolerated, she had a mini stroke and then she prayed. When I got confirmed in 9th grade, I think my mom cried, but I don't remember. I'm sure she does. I'm sure she remembers when I got mad at the world and wouldn't talk to her nicely, wouldn't talk to anyone nicely, and how I always took it out on her. I'm sure she remembers the mom, "I don't want to talk to you. I just want you to buy me things and give me a house to live in and leave me alone. Mom, I don't want to go to church. Mom, you're so annoying." I remember when I chose to go to a magnet school in 9th grade to get away from all the people that I found insufferable in middle school. I remember my mom blowing the principal's email up because it was COVID time, and this was high school, and it just couldn't be like middle school again. It had to be the best for me, and if not the best, then better. I remember her praying a lot. You might be happy to hear that high school was better. It was harder. I wouldn't do it again, but it was so much better. And my mother was there for all of it, and I thank God for her all the time. I said my mother prayed a lot, but I prayed too, I prayed for him to send me a friend, maybe two if he felt so inclined. I have more than 2 friends now. But as I look back on it, there's someone he gave me really early on that was more important than all of them. And that was my mother, my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, all the cliches. I wanted to say thank you to my mom, and I also wanted to say stop crying because Lily will make fun of you if you don't. I'm not looking at her, but I know she's right there. This Mother's Day, I wanted to share with you guys this story of love in hopes that it might inspire you to show love to someone else. It does not have to be your baby or your lover or your friend. It could be anyone. Because it does not take having a great mother to know what love is, and it does not take having a child to know how to give it. If you are looking for love today, remember that God will always be there to give it to you, and he always has been. And that's who we all need, someone who cares about us deeply. I hope that you all may know Jesus' love, and furthermore, I hope that one day you all may give the love of a mother. Amen.